So, examples of projects, they tend to be unique, maybe a new shopping centre. But think about it, you travel from different cities and towns, you find different shopping centres. They've got similar shops inside them, but they're generally designed differently. You generally don't see exactly the same shape and model everywhere you go. Same with things like bridges. Bridges are very unique. You know, you go across a bridge and you think it's just a bridge because you generalise that term, but in reality, all bridges are built, and some are built in different ways than others. New motorway extensions now, obviously when you're in a car or a vehicle and you're going along the motorway, you find things like slip roads and that, they are built to a certain standard and they do look very similar. But again, they're unique projects because the ground they were built on was unique. Designing the next generation of computers, how unique can that become? You know, that's super rocket science stuff to me. And again, people involved in those sort of projects, building new technology, that again is one of these things you think to yourself, wow, that's an interesting project. Planning the next national election, even things like politics have to be planned. Right, and the last one there, a bit more simple for us, thank you, that's the one that helps me, is building a shed or building any sort of small structure. And again, that's a project, not as big as fancy as building a new shopping centre, again requires quite a bit of planning. Certainly you might say that each and every shopping centre in the UK does look the same. I did say that, it's largely true, but they're different from town to town, right? In the end, the entire project team will come to an end of their contract. Now think about that, someone was hired to be the project manager, right? And their contract runs out. In fact, if you think about it, they become effectively redundant, which means they have to then move on to the next project, even if it's the next shopping centre they're going to build, right? And they have to hope they're going to be rehired and they'll be given new contracts all over again, right? So in other words, all these different things are individual projects, and you might find different people working in different projects at different times. Lots of people you haven't met before. Moving on from there, we'll talk about the word stakeholder, and it's got nothing to do with vampires. A stakeholder is someone who is involved in a project. Now I've said here, that includes the sponsors of the project. For example, the people who are paying for the project. Someone has to stump up the cash, right? That's one of the stakeholders, or one type of stakeholder, right? There are also those who are involved in the project if it has an impact upon them, right? The super sewer, one I was talking about in the previous video, a lot of the local residents didn't like it because obviously it's going to change the traffic situation, the noise situation as well. Lots of gigantic machinery operational for most of the day. Even one woman was complaining about the view, the fact that from her flat, but 10 floors up, she didn't have a good view of the water anymore, and she knew that this project would be there forever. So she basically moved out of her flat, went somewhere else. Most members of the project will to some extent be stakeholders, right? And these people will exercise varying degrees of influence at different stages of the project at different levels. So let's take it from the high-end part of the project, strategic, right? The people who basically went, in a room together, I think we should build a super sewer. Why? To get rid of the poo in the Thames. There you go. So somebody had to come up with some sort of strategic idea. They're saying we should do this. Obviously, underlings, managers, then had to undertake control of the project and the resources used. So they had to say, well, we need to have people working on this project, right? Who can we get? Who will we hire? Who will be the project manager or managers, right? So the project, the people working at the project level there, they're involved in the develop and delivery of the project. They basically assign things like tasks. These tasks must happen when and where, right? And these certain people and resources must be there in place and used at the right time. Operationals, where they're involved in the implementation of all these ideas, the people who actually sit there and say, yes, we will do it, right? So on the ground in the super sewer, there was lots of supervisors and people basically at the front of this, using machinery to dig gigantic holes. Direct influence, these are directly affected by the project and its outputs. So that, for example, could be that woman who left her flat because the view of the Thames had changed. And indirect influence, these are indirectly affected by the project and its outputs. So no direct correlation to the project itself, but there's a knock-on effect. An example would be for the super sewer project, was a company who operated a kind of tourist boat system. They had like 18 tourist boats, and basically they were told that you'd have to shut down operation because the way they were accessing the Thames was no longer going to be used by them. They were basically going to block it off and use it as part of the super sewer access way. So this company were basically told, I'm sorry, you were operating for 15 years in the Thames, but you can't operate here anymore. And I watched the show, and the fella, he was a bit unhappy, obviously, that that's indirectly affected him. It's a great influence to him personally, but it's an indirect knock-on effect of the actual project itself. So stakeholders include those interested in the project, such as individuals and groups, right? People who are external to the project team. You can call them interested parties. And then further down there, some stakeholders will not be in favour, right, of any sort of project, right? So it's important to identify what type of stakeholder you're dealing with and decide what's the best time to involve them, right, and the best time to exclude them. Because not everyone wants your project to be completed.